You ever wish you had a snack that was not only delicious but left you feeling great and energized, and also your kids loved it? This is it. Here I'm starting off with a baking sheet and some parchment paper on top. I really recommend you start off with this first because things are about to get sticky. And one thing that drives me nuts is when my hands are covered in food and I don't want to touch anything because then it'll get everywhere, and yeah, let's just prevent that mess and get prepped. Now I'm just grabbing the largest bowl that I have and scooping up 3 cups of rolled oats. I'm tossing them all up in my bowl. And now I've got a jar of raisins. Now this is the fun part because you can use anything. You can use raisins, you can use craisins, you can use a dried fruit that you really love. The possibilities are really endless for the flavor combinations you can do in this. But right now I'm going for more of an oatmeal cookie vibe. My kids go crazy for it. Now I'm just going to toss that in with the oats. And here I'm going to get my peanut butter. Now again, you can use almond butter, cashew butter, whatever your preference is. Here I just have some organic peanut butter. I'm just cramming as much of that as I can into that little measuring cup. And I just pour that on top of the oats and the raisins. Now I would actually, going back, I would mix up the oats and the raisins and the cinnamon first because I like to get all my quote dry ingredients, break up the clumps of raisins. Kind of helps it stir a little bit easier. But this works too. Now here I'm using my maple syrup from Costco. It is amazing, delicious, and really a good price. And I'm just going to pour that over my oats and raisins and peanut butter and that combination. Tossing on some Saigon cinnamon and giving that a really good stir. Now this is where I usually put in my vanilla as well, or any other seasonings, such as I learned I really enjoy nutmeg in this. It just kind of really gives that Christmassy cookie vibe. Now, stirring this can be quite the chore. I definitely recommend using the strongest spatula you have. And you'll see here eventually I just put my hands into it and start mixing it together like a dough, like a bread dough, like a gluten dough. Kind of really just patting it down, squeezing it together. I'm going to start forming it into balls on top of that parchment paper. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have wet your hands. I dip them into water often. Unfortunately, I cut out of this video, but the more you cover your hands with that water, the less that peanut butter is going to stick, and you're going to be able to compress those really well. Now once I have these all rolled up, I'm just going to toss them into the freezer. About 30 minutes later is when I will serve them. They actually stay well in the freezer. They don't get too hard, so you can just take them out and eat them. The peanut butter and the maple syrup keep them soft, but the freezer keeps them not too tacky. So I would actually recommend keeping them in the freezer. They'll stay well there in about 1 to 3 months, but honestly, my kids will finish these off in less than a week. I really hope you enjoy this recipe, and if you do, please give a subscribe so you can stay up to date with all of the latest recipes. I have a few more coming out this week, and I'll see you soon.